Utrecht, in the heart of the Netherlands, was founded by the Romans nearly 2,000 years ago. It's the city where the skaters of Holiday on Ice gathered for the rehearsals of the new ice show, Mystery. The rehearsals would take place in an old tram maintenance facility on the outskirts of the city.
From the top!
Of course, no rehearsal can officially start without a piece of the special mystery cake.
What's exciting for me is watching all the steps appear. This is what the best bit is. I come in and he shows me, I go, oh, it's so exciting. It's really...
To see it, yeah.
Being a choreographer myself, you know, obviously I have my own thoughts about the music. When I come in with Robin and he shows me what he's doing, I just think the man's genius. I think it's genius.
We work well together. The advantage is he knows how I work now, I know how he works. I know what he's going to say, he knows when to shut up. I know when to shut up and let him do his job. It creates a comfortable relationship, and it takes time. Girl, do not do this. Stay side and be face to face with your opposite side. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5.
The last moment, 1 or 2 people didn't turn up, so I'm now looking for the rest of the skaters, but luckily it's only 2, and I think I've got them already.
The skaters come from 17 different countries, from Russia and the USA to Argentina and South Africa.
We have 14 chorus boys, 25 chorus girls, and we have 10 principal skaters and an act with 3 people. So that's quite a lot.
One of the new members of the extended Holiday on Ice family is the young Danish skater Benjamin Abeling.
The show Fantasy came to Herning, and I heard they had an audition there, so I called them and they said I could come. So I went for audition after the show was done, and then yeah, they liked it, and they gave me the offer to come to Mystery Tour. I did dance for 5 years, but didn't work with my partner, so I started thinking I'm done with school, so now I'm gonna go for the show thing. And I heard so much good about it, so I want to try it.
Paris is without doubt the fashion capital of the world, so it's no surprise it's where costume designer Edwin Peatney calls home. Among his designs are various Holiday on Ice shows, but also the new show Bonheur at the world-famous Lido in Paris.
The director and choreographer, they have a specific theme in mind, which we have meetings and we discuss the theme, and they kind of give me an idea of the feeling, what direction I should go with the visual of the costume. I come up with sketches, and it's either right on or they direct me. They tell me we see it more in that direction, and then it's up to me to come up with to interpret the vision of the production. We make a mock-up of these costumes in a fabric. We call it this a toile, and this is to determine the proportions, the shoulder width, the cut of the garment, the volume, for example, for these coats at the bottom, and this is where we work out all the kinks of the costume. Then once this is all worked out, then we cut, once we get the measurements, we cut in the actual fabric to create the costumes. Holiday on Ice is a show that's on the road constantly. Therefore, costumes are packed and packed constantly. So we have to choose fabrics that are very practical for that need. And also that are practical for the skaters, mainly the soloist fabrics in which they can move freely, especially the couple skaters who do a lot of lifting. The difference is in the legs. I mean, all the pants, all the tights for the girls have to have inside zippers on the inside leg, because once they put their skates on for the show, they leave them on throughout the whole show. Therefore, they need to access, everything that's from the waist down through zippers, which are on the inseam of each costume.
Hi, my name's Samantha, and I'm a principal skater with the new Holiday on Ice production, Mystery. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from Ellicott City, Maryland, and I've been skating now for almost 12 years. And this is my first time with Holiday on Ice. My parents are performers as well. They're singers in a band. And I would always stay with my aunt and cousin while they were working. And my cousin was a skater, so my aunt put me into lessons, and I just loved it from the start. Holiday on Ice is one of the biggest productions around, and it's great to be skating on big ice and working with Robin and Mark, and it's just a spectacular show, and there's not another show out there like it. It has been wonderful working with Robin. He is extremely talented, and I've learned so much from him. He definitely challenges you, but gives you these numbers that just fit you, and they're really fun to skate.
Samantha caught my eye just over a year ago. I was in California, and I went to see a show at Magic Mountain, and on a very small piece of ice, this girl who was part of an ensemble cast but did a couple of step-out moments, really just, she's great. And I was with Willie Betak at the time, who was producing the show up there, who's worked for Holiday on Ice before. And he looked at me and said, she's great, isn't she? I said, God, yeah. She said, she's really good. He said, but you can't have her yet. And I didn't realize it was really her first big show. But just the confidence and just a real lightness about her skating that I thought would really suit our shows one day.
Each morning we have class session, and we get to do some steps and challenge ourselves, and some of the steps in the show too are also challenging, and it's exciting to do it, yeah.
Benjamin, I think, is going to be what we call a lifer. He's going to be around a long time. He's a very, very solid skater. He has an ice dance competitive background, but he's very has a very good command of what the blades are for, and I love to find that. It's rare in an ensemble boy to be this good this quick, but he's so eager and he's so young.
I think it's going very well. I think what's been brilliant is Robin has nearly finished choreographing the show. and so we're now going to be able to refine it and work on it and develop it. We're still waiting for some of the props. We're waiting for most of the props to arrive. They're a little late, which is a little bit not so good as it should be. But when we get the props, then we'll be able to work with the props, which we need to put into the show now.
There can be no ice show without music. In London, mystery musical director Michael Reed chose a wonderful orchestra and probably the best-known studio in the world, the Abbey Road Studios. The Beatles recorded most of their songs here, and nowadays lots of film scores, like the music for the Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings films, are recorded here.
What I love doing most, to be conducting an orchestra of 75 world-class players. It doesn't get any better than that. It's absolutely fantastic. It's what I've always wanted to do, and now I do it. It's great. You get up in the morning just to do exactly what you love doing. You'll never be able to replace the beauty of a solo violin or the beauty of a French horn or an oboe. You just can't do it. No matter how sophisticated the samples are, they'll never replace the human, the real instrument.
How many weeks have you been rehearsing with this orchestra for them to play it at the
How many weeks have we been rehearsing? I would say, definitely at least 10 or 15 minutes per piece, I'd say. Every piece is basically you just put the music in front of these musicians and you rehearse it once, and then you put the light on and you record it.
We're dealing with big arenas, so therefore I want the music to have a kind of epic, filmic quality to it, so it fills the space, it's grand, and the audiences feel it's special. For an ice show, the music is like the backbone of the show.
Meanwhile, in Utrecht, the rehearsals are taking shape. After each rehearsal, it's time for assistant choreographer Mark Naylor to give notes to the cast.
Let's go through notes. Opening, especially Danilo and Sam. Sometimes the lighting department comes up with ideas and starts doing these flashing circles on the ice. And we've never seen them before, just like you never saw them before. So if you feel at any point in danger or uncomfortable with the lighting, don't do an element. There's always that unknown factor floating around that goes zzz, bing, and gets you. There's the costume that you may have given an arm movement to a skater, but then the costume arrives and you can't do an arm movement. Or there's some restrictions that you were aware of, but there's more restrictions than you thought.
In this venue, I think we're ready. We've definitely done everything we can here, and the show's been very clean, and it's almost ready to go.
Fortunately, because of my skating background, I can think like a skater, and I can also think as the assistant choreographer. So I always, especially during the rehearsal process, I try to keep my mind between the two worlds. Like remembering what it was like to be a skater, to be standing on the ice for hours on end. And I always try to give them the information. So this is why we're doing this number. Is it because I just want to make you do it over again? No, I want to make sure that we get the kick line straight, or we get the pinwheel in order, or we fix a pattern that it's splicing, but then one person's not going through the right splice. So I always try to give the information to the skaters and let them know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
This is where all of our props and sets and costumes are kept. These are the Zodiac wheels for the Zodiac section that's in the second half of the show. We have 2 of them that go on the ice. Here's our tree from the Goblin Forest section. It moves around the ice and it's very scary. And over here is our bus. Right now it's in a bunch of pieces, but we all get into the bus and take it onto the ice as one big prop. These are the caskets in the Goblin Forest for our flyers, dressed as skeletons. They open up and we have 4 flyers that lift into the air and look like they're attached to nothing. It's a blacklight scene, so they're just floating through the air. This is our Alice in Wonderland tea party set. We have some cheese and some cake and some tea. Hanging in the ceiling are all the finale backpack wings. They're butterflies and they light up and change into about 4 different colors. And at the end, it's a waterfall of gold. More goblins. More goblins. We have a lot of goblins. To travel all of our sets and props, we have 7 trailers and 8 containers. So now that you've had a small look behind the scenes, I'm gonna head back to rehearsals and I'll see you guys later. Bye!
It's not finished by any means, but we're at that point now where fine-tuning. Skaters need an audience. We need to feel the show with atmosphere. You can only do so much preparation work and expect how it's going to feel. It'll be like this, maybe it'll be like that. Now we have the proper sound systems up. The set is 90% here. We're missing a few little pieces. Skaters can do their job. Tomorrow night we get our first audience. Final dress rehearsal, so probably a little nervous, skaters. Nerves for me will come probably tomorrow during the show, and it won't be about the skating at all. It'll be about whether the audience is reacting the way we need them to, or Anthony and I expect them to, or want to, which shows us whether the material works. The skaters will be different every single day. It can't be exactly the same. They are the show. What we've created for our audience, we will know whether or not it's going to work tomorrow.
I think we're on track. I think that Robin and I, touch wood, have planned this one so that we come in absolutely, on schedule. It's a fantastic show, and I think it holds the mystery idea And I think the whole show is like looking into a crystal ball. We see the crystal ball in the beginning of the show, and it's like looking into a crystal ball, and you see then all the wonderful things you see in a crystal, all the magic you see in a crystal ball. So, I mean, I'm thrilled that our concept for the show, which is it's a loosely based concept, but I think the concept of our show is reading. I'm thrilled with the standard of the skating, and I think overall it's going to be a really good show for Holiday on Ice. One of the skaters saw it last night and said, had never seen it before, and said it's like the new generation for Holiday on Ice. So again, maybe a little flattering, but I'm really happy with the show.
Opening night doesn't sneak up on you. You know when it happens, so therefore you don't have an option of not being ready. I'm sure they'll be running around backstage. I'm sure there'll be some moments of concern, but then ultimately the music will start and the music will end, and there should be applause.
The second largest German city, Hamburg, is the place where Holiday on Ice traditionally holds its opening nights.
I'm blown away.
Good.
Yeah, good. I'm blown away.
I think it's a wonderful show. I think everything looks fabulous, and I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very happy.
I was absolutely thrilled. I thought it was beautiful, and it was interesting. So, having not seen any of the staging, to come in and live with the score for so long and see this wonderful staging with so many wonderful bits, so many moving bits, colourful bits, and funny bits, and witty bits, and the wheel. I was holding my breath. I suddenly realised I hadn't breathed for about 2 minutes. It was absolutely fantastic.
I'm very happy. I think it's going to be a great show. I think the audiences will love it, and I know that the skaters enjoy it. So that makes me feel very happy, and I'm thrilled with everything. And, yeah.
You had a very special guest here tonight as well, your father. What did he think of it?
Ask him. What do you think?
Are you a proud father?
Absolutely.
Well, I think we have a great show.
So much fun, yeah. It was great. Yeah.
I didn't fall, so it couldn't be better.
I wish everybody will come to see the show.